Okay, so I feel like a 10-year-old kid again. Star Wars Rogue One stars Mads Mikkelsen, Felicity Jones, Forrest Whitaker, and is directed by Gareth Edwards. So what's up, guys? Rogue One, it's already here. Before I get into this review, just let me forewarn you, I'm gonna do non-spoiler talk up until the rating, and then after the rating, I'm gonna talk spoilers because there is some great stuff to talk about. And so I'm gonna be very obscure during the non-spoiler section because I don't wanna give anything away to you guys. I just wanna give you guys the gist on how much I like this movie. Now, first off, let's set up the timeline for Rogue One real quick. This takes place right before episode 4. It links right up and it is crucial. It's paramount to what happens in episode 4. As a matter of fact, if you watch this movie, you will enjoy 4 even more. But the main character in this movie is Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones. And she is crucial to the rebels because they're trying to get the plans for the Death Star. They want to find a weakness. They need her for two things. First off, they need her to get to Saw Gerrera, who is played by Forrest Whitaker. And he is just kind of a loose cannon. He is an extremist, and they don't really trust the guy. So he has a relationship with Jyn Erso. He really raised her. So they need her to get to him and to eventually get to her father, who actually worked for the Empire, and he is an engineer. He is a major reason why the Death Star really came to be. He is important to the Death Star, so the Empire needs him. So really he's important to the Empire, but he's also important to the rebels. And I don't want to go too much into detail about his relationship with either of those two organizations. But first off, there are so many little winks and nods to episode 4, but they don't go overboard. It's really its own story. They have a mission here. They have to tell the story of really one of the biggest, I guess some might say, plot holes of episode 4. For years and years, people have always thought that it's just too easy to blow up the Death Star. All you got to do is just find this little center main reactor, blow it up, and boom, the thing's gone. This movie gives more weight to that. This movie actually explains why it's so easy, actually. Also, another reason why Rogue One works so well, maybe even more than most of the Star Wars movies, is it has really phenomenal actors, especially Felicity Jones, Forrest Whitaker, and Mads Mikkelsen. But really, all of the actors in this movie are just great. But Forrest Whitaker, from role to role, the guy just completely changes himself, even his voice. If you were to close your eyes and listen to Forrest Whitaker in this movie, you wouldn't recognize him. He's that great of an actor. And he always has these little tics and mannerisms. He really takes a character, breaks it open, and just finds all these little nuts and bolts of that character to really make it his own. And Felicity Jones, incredible. Jyn Erso is just such a crucial character to this movie. She is the guide of this whole movie. She's the anchor of the movie. You really need a capable actor to handle a character like this, and she really does a great job. Her backstory is incredibly interesting. She has not had a charmed life at all. It's really been a rough road pretty much from, when she was a child. And you can really see all that behind her eyes. Also, the character Chirrut Imri, he is the blind guy. He has links to the Jedi Order. And he's such an interesting character because he is just a badass. He's really the action of probably the first half of this movie. I mean, there's a lot of action, but he's probably the closest to like Jedi combat that you will find. And also, Rogue One has a C-3PO type character that's K2SO. And just imagine C-3PO, but he's a dick. That is K2SO in this movie, and he is so entertaining. He really provides a lot of the comic relief, and there are so many scenes that I just love with him. Really, to me, he's what I always wanted C-3PO to be, because C-3PO can be kind of annoying from time to time, whereas K2SO is not annoying at all, just funny as hell. And lastly, the space battle. If you want a great Star Wars space battle, this one probably has one of the best. I mean, the last 20 minutes of this movie is just a giant space battle, but they constantly keep it interesting because the third act is unfolding during this whole space battle. So guys, I was very careful with this review. I didn't want to reveal too much, but I hope you get the gist. This movie is a trapped on an island. It is that great. Once I get into the spoiler talk, I'm going to explain more on that. And if you'll notice, I didn't really mention a character that you did see in the trailers. We're going to talk about that in the spoilers. So anyway, if you haven't seen this movie, I suggest you get out of here If you have seen this movie, then hang on for the spoilers. Here we go. Now, first off, of course, I want to talk about Darth Vader. I had my suspicions about this movie. I thought they were just going to show maybe just a blink of Darth Vader, nothing special. And that first scene, it kind of was that. It was really cool because initially you see him in this medical chamber, I guess you could say, really in a way that we've never seen Vader before. So it was really interesting. But then, oh my God, at the end of this movie, I turned into a 10-year-old child. I screamed in the theater, I think almost, and I didn't care. I was so excited. When Vader's trying to intercept the plans from getting to Leia, and he just opens up his lightsaber and just completely kicks ass. Oh my God, I was freaking out during that scene. Really, if this movie is a roller coaster, the last 5 minutes is the drop. And don't get me wrong, the rest of the movie's great, but that last 5 minutes, icing on the cake. And then when you see Princess Leia turn around at the end, goosebumps. I got goosebumps right now, crazy. But I can't leave without talking about sacrifice. Rogue One, they gave their lives really in order to get the plans to Leia. And the fact that they have given their lives just makes everything that Leia does in episode 4 just that much more important. Every time I see episode 4 now, I'm gonna think back to Rogue One. And I'm gonna say it's probably like my number 3 or number 4 favorite Star Wars movie ever. That's how good this movie was to me. Now, this is an immediate reaction, I just saw it, but right now I freaking love it. So, Star Wars fans, what are your thoughts on Rogue One? Looking forward to hearing them. Also, this week on Killer Flicks is Star Wars week. We're talking Star Wars left and right, constantly. So, jump on over to Killer Flicks, become a member, and join in the fun with us. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, and
Drumdums out.